This episode of Fixin Vixens is brought to you by the Church of Pod, Louisville, Kentucky's most inviting and inspiring podcast studio, available for public rental. When something breaks down in your home, do you think to yourself, I should be able to fix this myself? And then you turn around and hire a contractor instead? Well, you're not alone, but we've got the fix for your fears. The Fixin Vixens will empower you to take home matters in your own hands. Our hosts, Annie McMichael and Alex Bolton, have spent the last 8 years flipping more than 50 homes. They have all kinds of crafty solutions for your house or the ones you're trying to sell or rent. They hire contractors only when it makes sense. They can teach you how not to be taken advantage of.
Bree, can I ask you, how was this different than dealing with a man's advice on the situation?
I don't feel like I'm being treated like I have no idea what I'm talking about, and it's refreshing. It's nice.
Well, your house is refreshing and nice now.
And it's going to sell.
Better yet, they can personally show you firsthand how to fix things yourself. It's the most interactive podcast on home improvement for women, and men too. Without further ado, here are the Fixin Vixens, recording live from Louisville, Kentucky.
Hi, I'm Annie.
And I'm Alex.
Well, Alex, this is our launch. Woo!
We're really excited to be sharing our stories with you guys.
We really are. And we are coming to you from Louisville, Kentucky.
Also known as Louisville,
Louisville.
Louisville, Louisville.
Of course, since we're locals, we call it Louisville.
You make as little effort as possible, and it goes Louisville.
And it's kind of funny. We are coming to you from a church. This is a 1920s church that really solidified our friendship.
Yes, it did.
Yes. Alex, I've been introduced to Alex by my daughter. And I said, I want a church.
She gave me this ridiculous task.
And within 2 weeks,
I've heard of one going to foreclosure, and I called Annie and I said, hey, girl, I got a church for you. I found it.
Yeah. So
and we had looked at a couple churches, and we had not found one that we like. You remember? We looked at a couple other ones. The Masonic Church.
Okay, you understand my husband is going to be listening to this, and he doesn't know all of these things, Alex.
Yeah, because that was our first team task after we found the church, was to convince her husband that we should get the church.
It's so true.
But fortunately, the church came with a duplex and a carriage house as well, that once those were fixed up, we knew that would create enough equity so that the church was practically free.
That's true. Well, yeah. That was our
That's how
argument.
we sold it.
Yes,
yeah.
That's so true. So this is a 1920s church. And again, it was going into foreclosure.
And it had one of the only original organs left in the country, right?
At least in this city, but possibly in the country.
Let's just say the country.
Yeah, we like that better. So enough about that, but I want to start talking about how we both got into real estate.
Well, let's hear about where you came from.
I'm from a family of 15. That's fairly common in Kentucky. And my mom was a do-it-herself. I mean, she was the original. The house was her domain. She did all painting, papering, paneling when it came in style. She paneled the whole house. So it was always my mom doing all the work. And guess who was beside her doing all the measuring and marking everything with a pencil and helping her cut and do all that?
You?
Yeah, I was one of them. She had about at least 5 of them at any one time under her feet. But yes, so I've done it almost from as long as I can remember. But how I started into it as a job was with the financial crisis of 2008. When the housing market just crashed,
Were you working before that?
Oh, yes. I mean, I have been just about everything. I've done corporate, I've done sales, I've done just about everything. When the housing market crashed, I told my husband, this could be an opportunity. So then I had to convince him of that too.
You fell in love with real estate.
Yes. Yeah, so we bought our first house probably in 2008. And then from there, we just started buying houses. I started flipping. And then actually, Alex, with you, I started learning about the auctions. So buying house at auction. And at this point, after buying the church, or should I say our complex, really, now I could say real estate has, I always say this church or this complex, it took me to school and it spanked my ass. That's
I know. I've bent over with you.
So what I've started to doing is I'm in a sell-off. So I'm consolidating everything into this property. So, and now tell me how you got started.
Annie and I have approached real estate from completely different backgrounds and just initial approach. I got started in real estate when I was 15 years old. I worked for my friend's dad, who was an appraiser. And I realized I would just drive around and appraise the houses and help him with the reports. And I was fast at it, so we could crank them out. And I was like, this is fun. I love getting a drive break. And then my stepdad is actually a real estate attorney. And my mom worked with him in his office. So I wanted a job, and I started working for him. And I love paperwork. That's so weird, but in real estate transactions, title work is all about the paperwork.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about 100 pages per transaction, and I love it. So I was doing that, and then my mom and I started negotiating short sales for some of our clients when the real estate crisis started to hit. So we were truly helping people that were upside down on their mortgage, and just it changed their lives. And there was half a relocation assistance, or sometimes we could get people 10 grand back for their house, and helping them was just it felt so good to help people on that capacity, help them restart their life. And real estate is just the biggest decision of anyone's life, and being inclined for paperwork, it was a natural fit for me. I moved to Colorado, started working for 3 investors, so I learned so much from them, mainly about their real estate portfolio management and how to use private money to invest and multiply your portfolio, and long-term investments, short-term investments, etc. So with that knowledge, I was working my A off, and eventually I got pregnant, and I needed to move back to Louisville to be with my family. And one of those investors that I had met out there said, can I financially back you? Does Louisville have a market? And I said, I don't know. Let's find out.
Does Louisville have a market?
Yeah.
It's a great market.
I was very pregnant. I was 8 months pregnant the first time I went to the auction. We bought 10 houses, and I was very skeptical and nervous, and I learned so many lessons off of those 10 houses. It took a year to get rid of all of them, but that didn't stop us from going to the auction the next week and getting more houses. So very quickly, my quantity of turnover jumped. They were all kinds of flips. It was sometimes as simple as cleaning to a full rehab, a full gut. The first house I did was on Brook Street, across from Burger Boy in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a great house. But anyway, so that's how I got started, and the rest is history.
Well, it's so funny that we came into it in 2 different ways.
Yeah.
And in true Alex fashion, you jumped in.
I dove in head first.
10 houses. I started slowly, bought 1 house, and I was using my own money. I was doing it the conventional way. And then actually after we met, you did take me to a private lender so I could do multiple homes, and also with the church. So that was kind of an experience. My first experience at the auctions was with you, and also with the private lender as opposed to the traditional.
Yeah. And I had this quantity over quality approach to it.
And I have quality over.
Well, and I was going to say that's what I learned from you and hanging out with you. So after I sold her a couple houses, I'd come hang out with her and check up on the projects, and that's how we started venting to each other.
That's how we started talking about contractors and all that.
And realizing that even though we had such a different approach, we had so much in common.
We just go at it in a different way.
But we still have the same headaches.
Yes. And I like the fact that you tease me, because when I get a property, or if I get a house, I get emotionally
you fall in love.
attached. Oh, I fall in love with it. And it's got to be something that I can fall in love with. I love the architecture.
You spend late nights there,
Oh, I'm there until a lot of times by myself, 3 in the morning,
and that's not happening with me.
caulking, painting.
I got a baby.
Yeah. I'm really, really, really hands-on.
Yeah.
So, and I think working together, we've kind of picked up, we've gleaned what, the other person kind of needs with what we're doing.
And that's
from that.
what we hope to offer you guys.
It's true. Some of that experience, and they could come at it 2 different ways. As a matter of fact, when I did need help, when I got multiple properties, is when, as far as contractors.
You stole my boyfriend?
Yeah.
Just kidding. I had broken up with him. But I'm talking about a contractor, not an actual boyfriend.
You can deliver your line of, this is what Alex told me about contractors when I first got it with contractors.
Contractors are like boyfriends. When they don't get the job done, replace them.
So she had fired her contractor, Terrell, and I hired him. And Terrell and I have been working together, I think for maybe 4 years. 4 years, 4 or 5 properties. And he's been with me through thick and thin. And now we share Terrell.
Yeah, like any true relationship, we have gone back and forth. We've played the break up and get back together game. We're back together now, so we're in a little try relationship now, the 3 of us.
Well, it's like if I have an emergency, I'm like, where are you? And he goes, I'm with Alex. I'm at Alex's property. I'm like, okay, I have an emergency. I'll get with Alex. I need you now.
Annie and I will talk and prioritize. Okay, active water leak. All right, you got it. You got him.
You can take him.
I have a couple boyfriends now.
Yeah. Well, I've even used Eduardo from you. I've gotten
we
Eduardo.
share multiple boyfriends.
Yes, we do. So that's boyfriends, AKA contractors.
Yes.
Because it does feel like a relationship.
It is it's a working relationship.
It really is. And that's kind of funny because the way we approach contractors, our work with them is actually totally different. Mm-hmm. I'm more family. You're a family. I'm going to take you under my wing. We're going to do this together. We're going together into
I'm
this.
a paid family.
Yeah.
I'll pay you to be my family.
I show up and I bring them lunch and I cook lunch for them. And,
I'm like, no lunch today. I'm just kidding. But I'm not that bad to them. They're still with me. It's a love-hate relationship, like a good one, like any true relationship, or family for that matter.
Yeah.
So we really hope to share our stories with you guys, share our issues, concerns, lessons.
Well, and also we want to empower other women. I do all my own caulking. I do all my own painting. I'm extremely hands-on, but I love it. I like doing it. I don't want to just tell somebody, get this done. I want to say, let's get this done. Here we go.
Do you want to tackle a home project yourself and don't quite know how? Annie and Alex want to help you. They're offering a personal video exchange in which you can share what's up in your house simply by uploading a quick video of the problem to our website at fixinvixens.com/connect. From there, they'll use a special app to interact with you. More ahead on that interactive opportunity coming up, along with Annie and Alex's theories on figuring out the scope of a project. You'll also get the scoop on what's ahead for Season 1 of Fixin Vixens. But first, we want to tell you about one of our incredible sponsors who truly believes in what we're wanting to accomplish with this series. If you've been personally injured, maybe it's a car or motorcycle or bike accident, or maybe even a dog bite, Murphy & Associates wants to help. Their attorneys are dedicated to protecting the rights of those who have been injured by negligence. Their goal is to help you succeed in your financial recovery, as well as your physical and emotional one. Want someone to stand up to an insurance company and build the best case possible for you? Then call Murphy & Associates today. You can learn more at LouisvilleFirm.com.
All right, let's talk scope of work. Annie, how do you determine your scope of work for a project?
Well, Alex, that kind of depends on the budget.
Number one,
it always
budget.
depends on the budget for me. And the project. What that project is, whether it is a flip, a rental, your own home, you approach all of those differently, and you have a different budget for all of those.
And I have actually seen some investors, I think, make an incorrect move on a property whenever they stray from their original plan. If it's a rental, keep it a rental. Don't all of a sudden go trying to flip it in the middle of it, because you've already made that decision and committed to it. So I think it's really important to commit to whatever decision you go with initially. For the scope of work, just stick with it. Don't second guess yourself.
No, I agree. And, again, you and I kind of differ on budget. I'm the cheapie. I'm the get it on clearance, and it's great.
But where we align though is when we start paying labor costs.
Oh yeah,
labor costs we can see eye to eye on. I think materials is where we start to differ, and what you will preserve and I will rip out and replace. And they're each one of them has their benefits and their downfalls, and we've experienced both, and we hope to share those lessons with you guys, because they come with lessons.
They really, really, really
financially, mentally, emotionally.
Emotionally. Yeah. With you and I also, another thing that we differ on is I get so emotionally attached to the house. And
sometimes I'll come in and Annie's like, oh, this curtain looks great. Somebody can be cleaning their dishes, and they'll, gaze off into the skylight. And I'm like, Annie, this is not your house. We are appealing to the masses. They might not like those curtains.
But the thing is, my houses sell and sell well. And I'm the one that's like, okay, this faucet is not, I don't like where it is positioned, because I'm the one, I want to use it. I want to make sure it's the user friendly.
So I think that this emotional attachment that we get to these properties is a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, it's like everything with real estate, it has a double-edged sword to it. And it's always, but I think it's always important to remind people that you need to appeal to the masses here. It's not your taste. I come in, and sometimes people have bright colors on their walls. Your ex-husband.
Yes.
And
orange.
Yeah, he literally had 6 colors on his walls, and I said, get rid of all of them. Give me gray. And he was like, that is so bland. Do you really want to do that? And I said, yes, that's what everybody likes. So it's not what you want. It's what is going to appeal to the mass audience.
So back to scope of work, and budget. And, it's so different depending on what your goal is.
Yes.
So, of course, your rentals, you're not going to put really expensive in it, because more than likely it will be torn up.
However, there can be a benefit to putting durable materials in there over something like laminate that could get easily destroyed. So there's the double-edged sword and the ebbs and flows of all things real estate related. It's finding a balance that's going to work for you and your goals. That's
and
important.
Your budget. I'm always, and the budget.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like, but it'll sell more, so forget the budget.
Well, it's funny because you go over budget and I'll come in under budget. It's like, that's another difference with us.
To be clear, listeners, I go over budget, but they sell high. They sell, it's made up for in the sales price. So my partners and I always walk away happy.
It's
but
true.
Yes, I definitely make that judgment call to go above budget a lot, and it's often against advice from others. But again, it hasn't failed me yet, so we'll see. And,
in the long run,
and neither has yours.
If you can do that, and in the long run, it does pay off.
Yeah.
So
there are 3 elements to contractors: timing, price, and quality. Those are the 3 pillars of construction and dealing with contractors.
I think I'd move them to quality.
Well, see, that's what you got to find, is a contractor that's going to give you all that. And you're never going to find that, so you just got to work with them. And I shouldn't say that. We hope that you find that. We are still looking ourselves to find all 3 characteristics.
What happens is we find them, and then we mold them into those 3, or we try to as best that we can. So that is true. Well, Alex.
Annie does more of the molding. I'm more of a, you screw up,
You kick ass. You kick their ass. And I come in and say, I'm more the, I appeal
You're like,
emotionally.
well, let's brush your butt off and get you back going again.
I am. This has really hurt me financially. Yeah. You don't want to do that. Let's work together as a team.
Or else there's going to be hammers swinging.
When we hope it's their hammer swinging.
Right? But if not, I know how to do it, and I will do it if I have to.
Familiar with Louisville's stately historical architecture? Victorians, shotguns, bungalows, and more? If you go to fixinvixens.com, you can check out Alex and Annie's historic home transformations. You'll see firsthand their individual styles and preferences when it comes to making a house hot for sale.
So Annie and I have worked on with a scope of budget. We've worked with a wide range of budgets, from as little as $1,000 to fix up the whole house to $120,000 to fix up the whole house. And you can do anything with any budget. You just got to figure out the win-win for everybody. And that's what we really hope to encourage you guys to do, is figure out what's going to work best for you, knowing that you can actually do a lot of it yourself. However, it's difficult to talk about home renovations and have anyone actually learn anything from it, because each of our circumstances, like our personalities, are very unique and different.
It's definitely a visual. You need a visual.
We want our listeners to take videos and explain their problems to us, their specific problems, so that we can respond with a custom video showing them how to fix it or how to handle a contractor that can fix it.
Right. I mean, it's the interactive nature of RVD that really attracted us to it.
Yes.
The fact that we're going to see their faces, they're going to be talking to us, they're going to be asking us questions, and we're going to see the problems that they're encountering, and that's how we can help them.
We've already gotten a lot of submissions, and I'd like to listen to a couple of them and let our viewers hear how they can present their problems to us.
Wonderful. Let's roll it.
Hi, I'm Carrie Minotti from Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm about to sell my house, and this is my bathroom that probably needs a little updating, and I'm open to any suggestions.
Hey, Annie, Alex, Adele here. Here's my issue. I just moved in, and I have this drain. Of course, it is an older home, but I have this drain that's broken off down in the bottom, and so I can't use this thing to open and close. So I don't know. Can you help me here?
Hi, Annie and Alex. My name's Bree from Louisville, Kentucky. We're getting ready to put our house up for sale, and I need some suggestions on how to have better curb appeal.
Again, this is why our video is so amazing, is because we actually have a picture to talk about, and we're not just going off of a verbal cue from somebody. And that's why I'm really excited about our podcast and excited to help our viewers solve their specific problems.
And it's so great to see Bree holding her baby on that pregnant belly. Yeah. So you really want to help Bree. Yeah. She's got to sell that house.
Yeah. What can we do with as little money as possible to get her house sold?
Later this season, we can go into more detail about how we helped Bree and helped that little family.
We hope. We'll find out.
We will. We can do it.
We can do it. That's right. So this season, we are talking about how to get your house ready for market.
And when we say get it ready for market, that means all the different aspects as far as a flip, a rental, Airbnb. We're going to throw Airbnb. Both of us have been treading into the Airbnb market.
And a lot of the tips that we're going to give you guys, if you're not selling, you can still apply to your personal home. And, you want your space to be beautiful, immaculate. When your home feels good, you feel good. And that's what we want you guys to achieve, whether you're selling or just pretending like you're going to sell. But you should probably sell, because the market's in an upswing and we're about to hit a down. To be discussed later in another season.
At a later date.
So we're going to lay out the season by starting with the exterior, and then we're going to go on the interior of the home, and then we're going to break that down, because the interior is the guts. It's your entire organ system of the house. So we're going to first go through big empty rooms, how to deal with them, what people look for, and then after that, we're going to go to the bathrooms, which make such a big difference. You know, it's where people spend most of their time staring at themselves. You got to look good
And
for yourself.
end it with the kitchen.
The bread and butter of the
Yes.
house, pun
Yes.
intended.
One of the most important, period, hands down.
Yes.
And one of the most expensive, period, hands down.
And then for our season finale, we're going to circle back with our guests and find out if their home's sold or not, if
Right.
the advice that we gave them worked. So stay tuned. We're excited. We're a little nervous.
And Alex, episode 2, curb appeal.
It's everything. It is literally the first thing that people see when they walk up to the house.
And it's actually my favorite
Yes.
because it is outside. I'd rather be outside than inside.
And you guys, this is one of the best things that I learned from Annie. When we first linked up, I said, wow, you spend so much time outside. And I never even thought to put plants in. I mean, besides bushes, just to fill an empty space. But you really taught me that you can not only fill the space, but enhance the space, add color to the space,
Oh,
add height.
Yes, flowers and
You
make
are-
it beautiful. When people pull up, they want to live there.
And for our listeners that might be in the car driving to work, Annie actually looks like Mother Nature. So it's really fun that how passionate she is about nature and the outdoors and your exterior landscaping. She really creates an entertainment space for the outside.
I do. I mean, the outside to me is what, I mean, I know kitchen and bath, but the outside also, it's got to be welcoming. Okay, I want to thank all of our listeners for joining us for our episode 1. It's been so exciting and so much fun.
If you like what you've heard, visit us online. You can follow us in all the ways possible on every social media outlet and offer us an exquisite review.
Until next week, Alex.
Hasta luego.
There's no better time to enhance your house than now. Alex and Annie have lots of spontaneous stories and anecdotes ahead for season 1. Subscribe now so you don't miss a single one of their tips or tattles. And while you're at it, please leave us a 5-star review, and we'll aim for the stars every episode. And now, here's a sneak listen to next week's show.
Alex, we've made it to episode 2.
We're rounding second base. So let's talk about how you get to second base with someone. It's all about your first impression.
That is so true.
Same is true with your house.
As a matter of fact, a homeowner reached out to us recently with an exterior problem.
We need to sell our house quickly and make some upgrades to it on a smaller budget because we have another child on the way.
So what can you do with $800?
Oh,
A lot.
yeah.
Oh, what's up, Terrell?
Uh-oh.
Guess who just walked in?
Uh-oh. This is not a good sign.
Hold yourself.
I just sent Terrell out on an active leak at one of my properties. Terrell? Yeah. Do we have good news or bad news?
Bad news.
Bad news?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best contractor in Louisville, Kentucky. He always comes through in a pinch. Whether he put you there or not is questionable.
The Fixin Vixens podcast is made possible with support from Murphy and Associates. Learn more at LouisvilleFirm.com. Our hosts are Annie McMichael and Alex Bolton. Music provided by Louisville's very own Mama Said String Band. Produced by Fixin Vixens and Nightport Media. Special thanks to Elaine Appleton Grant and Podcast Allies. Executive produced and edited by me, Janice Jensen.